Hello YouTube! I know that it is November, which is the month of writing, not reading, but reading doesn't stop just because we're writing novels, so I'm here to tell you guys about all the books that I've read over the past month or so. Also, this video is going to have a giveaway in it for an iPad mini, like a real iPad mini. Thanks to Adaptive Books, I'm able to run this awesome giveaway, so make sure you stick around until the end of the video to find out how you could win it. So the first book that I read was Delirium by Lauren Oliver. So it's about this world where love has become a disease, it's a sickness, and it's something that people don't do anymore. When you turn a certain age, they give you an operation that like really messes it. Honestly, it sounds like a lobotomy. It sounds like they're lobotomizing everyone. They never really go into the details, like the science of what this operation actually does, but the people who come out the other side don't really feel anything fully. They just sort of float through life and everything is pleasant, but not any more than that, really. So if you start showing signs of catching the delirium, they'll move up your operation and make sure that you don't fall in love. So obviously this book is about a girl who falls in love. I really liked it. It was a really interesting world and it was really well written, and there are more books in the series that I haven't read yet, but I want to. Next was Atlantia by Ali Condi. This book just came out recently. I love Ali Condi. She wrote the Matched trilogy. I didn't really know what to expect with this book, but it was super interesting. It's about people who live down in a world underwater called Atlantia because conditions on the surface are not really that livable anymore, and it was a book that really broke my expectations over and over. I did a whole review of this book already that's on my channel, which I'll link to if you want to see more of my thoughts about it, but this book was just fun and really good and I super recommend it. So Landline by Rainbow Rowell is up there. It's one of the contenders for favorite book I read this year. I loved it. I didn't know going in that it was just adult fiction. I thought it was YA because I had read Eleanor and Park and Fangirl and I just assumed. It was really refreshing to read a book about a woman later in life. I just don't read a lot of books like that because I stick to YA so much, and it made me really want to read more adult fiction because I just related with her so much more than I can relate with 16-year-old protagonists lately. It's about a woman who works in TV writing. She's a comedy writer, and her career has always sort of kept her away from her family, and she's having problems with her marriage, and her husband and kids go on a trip, and she finds this phone that allows her to talk to her husband 15 years ago when they were still dating, and through it she figures out what she needs to change in her life to, you know, make things better. And it was just really heartwarming and sad but funny, and oh God, it was just so good. This book was just amazing and I loved it and I cannot recommend it enough. Then I read Ask the Passengers by A.S. King. This book was recommended to me by my friend Mallory and it was really good. Right away it took me a little bit of time to get into it, and it was definitely a heart-wrencher, but once it really picks up, it's just so intense and so good, and such a good coming-of-age story about a girl struggling with her sexuality and struggling with living in a small town and dealing with small-mindedness, and the main character is so smart and so well adjusted, and everyone around her seems to have so much more work to do on themselves to get to the point that she's already at, which is surprising because she seems the most confused of all. It was just such a great story for so many reasons, and even though the characters were very young and dealing with things that I myself didn't totally have to deal with being a straight girl, I really appreciate the way that this book looks at being different and being other and dealing with people who don't understand that, and especially coming from small town America. This book was just amazing, and I love the theme of sending your love to strangers, and I really liked it, so you should check it out. Then I read The Silence of Six by E.C. Myers, which is a really fast-paced, exciting adventure book that I really enjoyed and was a lot different than the things I normally read. The book is about this guy named Max whose best friend Evan commits suicide in this really bizarre way, and there's all these mysteries around it, and his last words were, "What is the silence of six and what are you going to do about it?" Obviously this leads Max on this long string of clues as he tries to unravel what's really going on and what Evan was involved with. Max ends up getting himself pretty deep in the world of computer hacking, which is really scary. I don't even know if this book was supposed to really be scary, like a horror book, but I think living in this day and age, it's really terrifying seeing how deep that world goes, and it's all stuff that can happen in the real world, and it freaked me out. Max had previously been part of the computer hacking world, but he sort of left it behind to focus on soccer and become a normal high schooler, but because of his friend's death, he gets pulled back in. I really like this book, not just because it was so unique and new and sort of fresh feeling, but also because it was a book that had a lot of transmedia elements around it. It had a lot of stuff that you could engage with and participate in outside of just the book. After I finished reading it, I found these cool videos that had been created to sort of supplement the story. There was this group called the Dramedy Personae, I think that's how you say it, which are some hacktivist characters that were based off of Anonymous in the book. I'm bummed that I wasn't at New York Comic Con this year because they held this big protest against anti-privacy law right there at the convention, which looked like it was really fun. And they've got a couple other videos out that I'm gonna link below if you're interested in that kind of stuff, because I do love me some great transmedia content. Also, if you're interested in this book, there's a trailer that you can watch. I will link to it now because I just think book trailers are cool. I love when books have book trailers. I have no idea what my TBR is except for the fact that I will definitely be reading Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan because it is the November book of the month for my new book club that I have on Goodreads called The Restricted Section. If you don't know about it, it's because it's new, but I definitely recommend you all come hang out and read books with me and chat. We've already got like 200 some people in the book club and it's a lot of fun already. We're doing nominations right now for next month's book and it's just gonna be a fun, cool thing that we can all do together, a way to talk about books, because it's always way more fun to talk about books with people who are also reading the same things as you. And so I'm hoping that people like it. I'm sort of new to all of this, but I'm hoping we can all figure it out together. So The Silence of Six is published by Adaptive Books. They're the ones who are helping me run this awesome giveaway. There are no strings attached to this giveaway. It's really easy. I just want to thank you guys for being so supportive and awesome about me starting to make book videos, and to everyone already in the book community for welcoming me into this awesome group of YouTube people. It's just been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying it. So there are only two things that you have to do to enter the giveaway to win the iPad mini. The first is to be following Adaptive Books on Twitter. That's Adaptive Books. You'd have to follow them. They're great. They talk about books. You'll probably love it. The second thing you have to do is to send me a tweet using the hashtag SOS giveaway. This is being run on Twitter. I'm sorry if you don't have a Twitter account. You could totally make one just for this giveaway. Doesn't matter. So tweet at me with the hashtag SOS giveaway and tell me what book you're reading right now. What book you've got sitting on your nightstand that you're reading, that you're loving, whatever. Really just need a tweet with that hashtag and you will be entered into the giveaway and one of you will win the iPad, which is super exciting. So this contest is gonna run from today, November 15th, for 1 week, so it'll end on November 22nd at midnight Pacific Standard Time. I hope everyone's doing well with their novels, if you're participating in NaNoWriMo, and that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you next time.